Jump in here in a minute so we can get to talking. All right. Well, shoot, I might as well jump on in. We might as well get started. Got 10 people in here. Shout out to everybody coming through to this live stream once again. Feel like it's been a minute. I'm used to getting on here a lot, but I mean, when was the last time I did a live stream? I think last Wednesday. Yeah, that's why it seemed like a while. That's what it was. I've been kind of busy, y'all. But yeah, man, let's get started, y'all. We can go ahead and get the jump on this a little earlier. I'm already behind time here. Just been doing some stuff here. Shout out to Marcus. What's going on, man? All right, y'all. So welcome back to another live stream. Y'all know Combo Breaker 99. None other, right? All right, y'all. We're back to another live stream, man. A few things I want to talk about. You know, wasn't like a major weekend for WMMA, but you know, I just want to talk about a couple of the fights and you know, just a few of the different angles of some things that have been discussed in the news. Roger, what's going on, man? What's going on? So yeah, shout out. I got 11 people in here. Just make sure y'all hit the like button. Like I said, I keep on getting on here as long as y'all like it. I don't know whether you like it or not. I'm gonna get on here. Let's put it that way, because I got my views. I got my views on things, and yeah, whether people like it or not, I'm gonna speak it, right? So yeah, it was kind of a slow weekend with WMMA, but I mean, we had some good fights. You know, the Canyoneer fight and Kelvin Gaston fight, and some good finishes too, man. That prelims card was fire, man. I mean, some good fights. I mean, it was like finish after finish, man. So, you know, I want to just talk about the big one, you know, for WMMA, Josiane Nunes and Malecki. Want to talk about that, and you know, the weight possibly being a weight issue there. So we talk about that. Then let's jump back at Thursday. Kayla Harrison and Jenna Fabian. I already broke down what was the fight, how it went, why it went that way, but I want to speak on Kayla and her recent call out, man, again, of Chris Cyborg. I mean, first I was talking about her keeping Izzy's name out of her mouth, but now it's like, oh, come on. You know, so yeah, let's talk about Kayla and her call out of Chris again. Talk about that. And Kellen Vieira and Miesha Tate, man. Is this main event material for y'all, man? Is it? Kellen and Miesha Tate? Savage in the building. What's going on, man? Got a good group in here, you know. So, yeah, let's speak on this first fight, man. Wow, Josiane Nunes and Malecki. Like I said, I don't really want to. I'm not gonna take away from Nunes at all, like, because she was having to make up for a lot in this fight. You know, I think she's more so naturally a 125 pounder. But, you know, she was moving up to 135 here. So, disadvantage for Josiane Nunes right away, right? So, count that as disadvantage. Then 7-inch height disadvantage, right? So, she had a lot to overcome in this fight. So, I still want to give Josiane Nunes credit. But at the same time, I still want to say Malecki don't need to be at 135. Shout out to BJ No Filter. I mean, me and BJ were talking about this behind the scenes, you know, that Malecki, this wasn't the Malecki we seen in Tough House, right? This ain't the Malecki at 145. But like I said, still want to give Nunes credit because she was moving up, you know. So it's just one of them fights where it's a good shine for Nunes, but it's another one of those explanations on why we need a doggone featherweight division, right? You know. But so with that, we could say it was the weight for Malecki, right? But at the same time, Colton, what's up? Colton said that girl has no neck. I brought that up. The girl has no neck. I brought that up in my video. I'm glad you noticed, because with no neck, it makes it so easy for her to have like a shock absorber. You know, she's all shoulders, like no neck. Like there's no neck there to give her like whiplash from a hit. You know what I mean? Like there's no snapping her neck around to jar her brain. You know what I mean? So yeah, no neck, man. And yeah, that's not a crack. I mean, that's a benefit for her. I just kind of found that funny because every time Bam Malecki would hit it with a head kick, it was like she would absorb that thing and just keep going. But yeah, for Bam Malecki, I think, no excuses, definitely, man. Because when you're fighting somebody that small, you should have some ability to adjust and overcome that person's power, especially when that much shorter than you. I just think, you know what you're going into when it comes down to it. You know what you're going into. Do you need to be at 135? No, but if you go to 135, you're going to suffer for it. You know, you should tell Dana White, I'm going to be 145. Let me fight Norma Dumont instead of Holly Holm. You know what I mean? Just something like that. So, yeah, no excuses at all, BJ. No excuses at all. Because she had more than enough to make up for it. You know, she had so much more than enough to make up for what she needed. I mean, she showed it in the first round. Like, if she would have found the pace and just used her leg kicks, teep kicks, head kicks, she could have kept the fight where she needed. But as soon as Nunes came through with that Superman punch, it was like, boom, I got my back to the fence, and this girl is too much, you know. So Josiane Nunes, her being a Muay Thai specialist as well, she's seen this before. So it should have been on Bam Malecki to say, I have to make this a tall Muay Thai fight, or switch this thing up to, clinch up with her, clinch fight, dirty box, maybe take her to the ground. But I'm sure that Josiane Nunes, her being Brazilian, she's probably got the jiu-jitsu as well. So it should have just been a long, tall fight for Bam Malecki. But she knew what she was going into. Yeah, I agree with that. She definitely knew what she was going into. You've been out for a minute now. You should be refreshed. You should be ready to get back in there. So, yeah, definitely no excuse. I give Nunes full credit. It's just another reason, though, why featherweights need to be here. George Page, what's up, man? Mark Robinson, what's up, man? He said, for Muay Thai specialist, Malecki seemed real timid with the strike volume. Yeah, she did, man. She did. Like, she started, like, with some authority, but then it was just gone, man. It was, I think when she felt the power and the pressure from Nunes, she had to stop. It was like she just had to. Something about it made her freeze up. Lolita, what's up? She said, so did Nunes look so good because Malecki was not her best, or was Nunes just that good? I thought Nunes was just overwhelmed Malecki with her combinations. It's kind of a middle ground, Lolita. Like, it's kind of a middle ground there. I won't even say middle ground. I say Nunes. I think Nunes did look good, but Malecki is not really UFC material, in my opinion. I mean, at 4-0, and having not really been active, she's not really like on this UFC level. Like, she hasn't really been in the process, in the midst of all this evolution of WMMA. You know what I mean? So she hasn't really been keeping up. I mean, when you hear undefeated, you think, yeah, she's something special. But, I mean, when you go back and look at her last fight before this, there's just been too much inactive time. So she hadn't had time to evolve. But for the way Nunes handled the fight, to me, you still have to give her credit because she handled a much bigger, taller fighter and showed some of these shorter fighters how to do it. I mean, would she have done that to Vieira? I doubt it. You know what I mean? She wouldn't have did that to somebody like her. Yeah, let's look at her resume. So, from 2017 to 2020, only 4 fights. So that's 1 fight a year. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Yep, only 1 fight a year. And before that, her only fight in the UFC, or 2 fights in the UFC were against lower competition, Duda Santana and Veronica Macedo, who's also a flyweight. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought maybe it was gonna be one of those situations where they put her in there with another mismatch and she just fight her way to a decision. But she got surprised last night. or Saturday night, excuse me. She got surprised Saturday night for sure. She got surprised for real. You know, they keep putting her in there these little flyweights, and she got knocked out. But yeah, she got the $50,000 bonus. Yeah, she got that. Yeah, George, she got to go back to 145 though, man. That's where you got to be. 145. Macy Chase on. Y'all need to make that argument. We got to be featherweights. And if they say anything to me, like if you retaliate to me and say, "Oh man, no, you ain't fighting. You don't know," because they making us at 135. Well, why is Norma Dumont? Why is Norma Dumont at 145 alone? Why is she there? Why is Felicia Spencer there? Why is Holly Holm getting to move back up from 135 to 145? So I don't want to hear any of that. I mean, you have to step up and say, this ain't fit for my body. Let me go up to 145. You got Norma Dumont up here. You know, so why can't I? I mean, look at their frames. You can't continue to make these girls drain themselves. Yeah, like UFC had Bay Malecki listed at 5'8" or 5'9". That girl 5'11", man. She's the same height as Macy Chase on. You know? So you know she walking around like 160. I mean, she's taller and like skinnier than Macy Chase on. She's walking around at least like 150, 160. Don't need to be dropping like 20 pounds. Definitely wasn't worth it for this fight. You know what I mean? Because now this just makes you look bad. Robot Chicken said Vieira is overrated. Oh yeah. Oh, you mean versus Miss Tate? Well, when I say Kayla Vieira versus like a Nunes, Jocelyn Nunes, that's a tougher fight for her. That's what I was talking about. Oh yeah, Emily Whitmire and Hannah Goldie. Yeah, BJ. Yeah, man. Bay is like a 5'11", man. She damn near same height as Macy Chase on. I'm like, come on now. Y'all know the girl don't need to be no bantamweight. I mean, Holly can move up. Why can't she? But that's an argument I'm always going to stand by. Like, every time these girls come out looking bad, I'm going to say, you know why. Because they're fighting at a weight they don't need to be at. But let's talk about Jocelyn Nunes here real quick. With the way she looked and with the potential she can carry at 5'3", well, you know, they listed her at 5'2" or 5'1" or something like that, but she's like 5'3". Either way, she was coming in at like an 8-inch disadvantage in height, so they was really messing it up. They said 7, but it's like an 8-inch. Jocelyn Nunes, though, for what she's shown in her build, agree with me or disagree with me? What you think, BJ? Jocelyn Nunes would look nice at 125. I'm just saying. Jocelyn Nunes at 125. I'm not saying it's going to be a problem, but that would be a good fit for her. She got the size, got the stand up, got the power. You can knock out a bantamweight. You know, that's a good fight. Jocelyn Nunes, that's a good move for her. Jocelyn Nunes, 125. Well, BJ already playing matchmaker. Look, BJ said Nunes versus Cachoeira or Kim, Jin Kim. Yeah, any of them names. Yeah, any of them names would be good. You know, I think that's a good matchup. Any of those names, those are explosive fights. You know, Nunes be big flyweight, come forward with some pressure. Cachoeira, oh man, I ain't even got to describe her style. Y'all know what she do. Come on. Those are good fights. You know, like I said, if she, you know, can utilize what she did against a tall fighter, that's good. You know, 125 is nice for her. But this is what I wanted to say too, man. Like, yeah, we gotta start looking at these fights that may not carry high, you know, like high caliber fighters, or these fights that might not be so, you know, well known. These little hidden gems been popping up. I mean, this was a good fight. What's her name? That Hannah Goldie fight was a good one. Who was that? Who was that Hannah Goldie was fighting? Who did Hannah Goldie fight last? The girl moved down. can't. Is it Bell Beater? Yeah, Bell Beater. It was Bell Beater. Yeah, the Bell Beater fight and Hannah Goldie. That was a good fight. So you got to keep your eye on these fights, man. Like, you don't know. Emily Whitmire versus Hannah Goldie might turn out to be a good fight. Good highlights. Two Beats, what's up? He said Jocelyn versus Andrade would be fireworks if she could make her way up that level. Yeah. B just said Priscilla would put her to sleep. You trying to get her killed there, man. Whoever can land a punch, well, we know Priscilla Cachoeira can take a punch, so we ain't even gonna mess with that. Amar said Nunes fought at 155, 145, and now 135, so she's naturally big. 125 is probably too much of a drop. She's comfortable 145, 1-3 straight. Leave her there. I don't know. I think the tougher the competition gets, that's going to be hard on her body. That's just me, though. I mean, with that frame she has, I think it's possible to get down to 125. I mean, take your time at it maybe, but I don't see her putting on the same performance against these other top bantamweights. At 5'3", when you start fighting girls like Julia Avila, Macy Chiasson, if she chooses to stay at 135, Kayla Vieira, Irene Aldana, those girls are going to give Jocelyn Nunes problems. You got to look at the competition. Like, she may have fought at 155, 145, and 135, but Jocelyn Nunes, the competition, you have to look at that. Like, might be uncomfortable with weight, but you have to start really considering your frame and size against certain type of competition. Like, the stiffer the competition and the shorter you get and the smaller you get, it's going to be tough. I mean, you look at look at Tisha Torres. Somebody as simple as Tisha Torres. Tough as hell, right? But when she was beating girls like Rose, Angela Hill, Beck Rollins, Lindbergh, whatever her name was, Jocelyn Lindbergh. She could beat that level of competition. But the minute the fighters were getting taller and bigger and much more polished, Joanna's, Andrade's, it gets tougher. So I think Jocelyn Nunes got to go down to 125. Because she's not going to run through Aldana. She's not going to run through Chiasson or Ladd like that. You leap in like that with those Superman punches on them, you get KO'd. Mark Robinson said, can we talk about some of the hate Jocelyn was getting because she's not the most feminine looking woman? I feel like that's some of the reason Amanda Nunes isn't more popular. I think that's something I've been seeing a lot of, with certain women anyway, she's not the first. Jocelyn Nunes is not the first. There's several others that don't have the feminine edge. And I mean, Amanda Nunes is a lot more feminine than Jocelyn Nunes. But to me, like I said, I don't care. I'm just watching the fight. For me, that's why I really can't. I can't put myself in that position like some of these people how they think. I mean, as far as like from the outside looking in, when I hear people constantly address in YouTube comments, when they constantly are talking about how a fighter looks, I'm like, man, shut up. I want to hear about the fight. Tell me what you know about how this person fights. Like, stop talking about how they look, whether they look good to you or not. Like I don't care. Like, Jocelyn Nunes, what she look like. Like, I want to know how good her striking ability is. That's what I'm watching it for. Like, so the hate she gets, it's really coming from casual fans and just a lot of men who don't watch WMMA like that still see women. They still see women fight. Of course, I'm seeing women fight, But I'm looking at the fight. That's me. That's just me. So I think that's wrong that people are hating on her for that. I think that's wrong that people can't get past what she looks like. What she looks like is what she is. I mean, I like the person as a fighter. I like what they, I'm looking at them from the inside, how they act, who they call out, and who they want to fight. That's just me, though. I mean, man, the Nunes earlier on, she used to have more of a feminine look to her, but I don't really think that's what's keeping her popularity there back. 'Cause, I mean, she does have more of a feminine look than Josiane Nunes. I think maybe just the fact that she's not. It just comes down to not being pleasing to the American eye. Everybody knows what the American eye is. American eye wants Paige Van Zandt. Which I got a video talking about Paige coming though. I need to put that out. I did it a couple of days ago. I did it a couple of days. No, this is a different video. I did it today. Did a Paige video today. I'm gonna put out. Pleasing to the American eye. Holly Holm. Stuff like fighters like that. There's always gonna be a certain type of look, but you talking about the men here in America, they're always gonna be like, oh, this woman looks too butch. She's too. I don't like that look. She looks like a boy. You know what I mean? So, that's my thoughts on that. I just don't really. I don't really pay attention to them. I'm trying to watch the fight. That's why I don't really read the YouTube comments. You're always gonna get two type of things. Like with YouTube, if you're watching a video, that happen to have black people in it, you always gonna see some racist comments in it. That's why I don't read comments on YouTube videos. Or if you see some WMMA fights, you're always gonna see some comments talking about what the girls look like instead of who they predict to win the fight. And then who they predict to win is usually based off of what they look like. So I get frustrated, man. I mean, everybody got their look. Like everybody says, okay, this so-and-so is attractive. I say that too with some WMMA fighters. I say, okay, she's attractive. This girl's attractive, of course. But when it comes down to who I want to win, I'm like, I'm going with who I'm rocking with. I don't care what they look like. Colton said that. Oh, that guy. Yeah, I know that guy that can choke people out with one hand. Yeah. Cole said, "Do you think Laura Sanko would be good as an analysis? Like commentator analysis? She's all right. Like I used to look at her show when she was on there with Megan Anderson. Laura Sanko used to do that show with Megan Anderson, but she don't do it anymore. I mean, what happened there? I mean, they seem to have good chemistry. Like, I mean, I don't really listen to her now, but like when I seen those videos with her and Megan Anderson, she seemed okay. So. Gary Ball said Tate got beat by Raquel. Oh man, she got beat down. Yeah, B just said we look at what's happening in the cage, right? Yeah, Robot Chicken. Yeah, it's all about the skill. It's all about the skill, man. But Mark said, I'm also here for the fights. I'm a bit sympathetic because to some it looks like a man beating on a woman, but yeah, the fighters can't help it, so it shouldn't be a negative. Yeah, it looks like it, but we all know. We all know different. 2B said my early thoughts on Vieira Tate. I will say this before I get into that topic. I don't think it should be a main event, but I'm kind of leaning towards Tate. I think Tate has better stand up, and I think her speed. She has a bit of a speed advantage over Vieira. She has a bit of a speed advantage and IQ advantage. I think Tate has picked up some things, and I know we can't really base what's going to happen in this fight off of the Renault fight, but I think that I think she has a little bit more well-roundedness to her that could give Vieira problems. Vieira kind of slow. I mean, you can't stand in front of Vieira because she will take you down, or she will throw them big lobbing punches that she's throwing like she did on Sarge. But early pick, man. Well, I don't have a pick yet, but early thoughts. it's probably gonna be a good competitive fight, but it's not main event worthy though. All right, hold on here. Before we were talking about that for a minute because I know you had asked me about the look and everything, but yeah, that's really what I wanted to talk about as far as Josie and Nunes because we sleep on some of these fighters, man, but they put on some good fights, man. They put on some good performances. All right, but let's jump here and talk about Kayla Harrison and Jenna Fabian, man. Shout out to Jenna Fabian. Talked to her before on IG. Good fighter. Good Muay Thai fighter. Good stand-up fighter. Freakishly big. Definitely had that size advantage going into this fight. Kayla Harrison, though, I'm starting to say Kayla is graduating now. Like I can honestly, with confidence, say she's graduating to a certain level now. But the skill level still needs to be tested. I think Kayla Harrison going into this fight, we all kind of knew what was gonna happen here, because we seen this time and time again where somebody like Kayla Harrison already has that intimidation factor over a fighter, or they've already got that comfort level. I think Kayla Harrison being here more than once, even if the competition is C level or D level, her having the pressure on her many a time to be great, which is still far away, and having the mic in her face and having her face on the billboard, I think that's broken a lot of ice for Kayla Harrison, where she's already at a comfort level when she gets in there. Jenna Fabian, I think a lot of her things weren't just, I don't think a lot of what Jenna Fabian, where issues were in this fight were technical, because she didn't really show anything. I think it was all mental. I think we can honestly say she kind of froze up, right? What do y'all think? Like, I think Jenna Fabian froze up in there. To me, it was similar to Nunes and Megan Anderson. Y'all remember how Megan Anderson was just like a deer in the headlight, eating shots until she got put out of her misery in the fight, right? This was the same thing. This was the same thing. Jenna Fabian had the reach. We didn't see her make any mistakes because she didn't take any chances, right? So we can't say she didn't have the abilities. Like, technically, she had everything. Like, she was never stepping side to side. She never got into a momentum. She never got into a groove, which would have been good. Like, I would have been happy if Jenna Fabian was at least moving side to side, maybe hit Kayla with 2 or 3 jabs, and then eventually went down. But this was much more disappointing, because this just shows you that Jenna Fabian, the biggest part of the game that you need is the mental. The mental wasn't there, right? It's obvious the mental wasn't there, and that you'll lose every time if the mental's not there, because we couldn't gauge anything. We couldn't gauge it. You could gauge more off of Zhang Wei Li versus Rose Namajunas. Like, at least you could say Zhang Wei Li made a mistake. She made a technical mistake in there, right? No excuses. No mental this, no mental that. It was a technical mistake that Zhang Wei Li made in a matter of seconds in a fight. Jenna Fabian in this fight didn't take any chances at all to make us say this didn't work. It was just a freeze up. Move side, move to one side, move to one side. Didn't throw anything out, so Kayla Harrison jumped on her, and the fight was hers from there, right? No takedown defense. Kayla just, spun her off the fence, took her down, transitioned from full mount, armbar, full mount, and finished her. So I think that was the reason why she lost the fight. I think it was just that she wasn't ready for it. It was that intimidation factor, man. Like I said, my video I was talking about boxers when I was growing up. When you see certain fighters fight Mike Tyson, they pretty much kind of shell up already. They freeze up. But you put the same guys that lost to Mike in there with a guy on their level, and they go all out. They go all out for some reason. on a smaller level, they're more confident. But maybe it was this high level was just too much for her, right? That's what I was thinking. That's kind of how I was studying the fight when I looked at it from what it was. I was like, oh man, right from the jump, when she didn't throw a jab or she didn't even throw like a front kick to keep Kayla off, or when she wasn't even like on the bite trying to make Kayla chase her. I was like, I think we're gonna have Megan versus Nunes here again. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying it to be funny. I'm just saying that to be real. Like, that's what I saw. I saw a fighter freeze up. I didn't see a fighter make a mistake that Kayla capitalized on. I just saw her take full advantage of a person that wasn't ready to engage. You know, that's what I saw. Kayla Harrison, though, she's been graduating. You know, she's definitely been graduating from these PFL fights, but that's PFL. You know, and once again, Kayla had this to say when the name Chris came up. Hold on, let me pull this up while this is loading. Let me read y'all comments here. Gary said the factor attraction is sad. Amanda Lemos is getting as much hype. Amanda Ebos at a similar point in their careers isn't getting as much hype. Right. Yeah, Lemos, man. All eyes on Lemos, man. Like, for me, you know, Ebos is where she's at. Like, I like what Ebos do, but right now, eyes on Lemos. Mark said Tate gets done. UFC pushing her too, so she judging will go for her weight for sure. Yeah. Colton said I'm ready for Kayla in the UFC at this point. All right, we're gonna get to that in a minute. Mark said Fabian was disappointing. Tall girl, but never used her jab. She knew Kayla would shoot, but did nothing to stop it. Didn't fire a shot. Yeah, man. Savage said we don't know how good Kayla Harrison really is until one of the fighters really put it on her in the cage. She will have to overcome some serious adversity. Right. Yeah. Yeah, hold on. Let me pull this thing up here. And that's kind of like same thing with Ronda Rousey. Like, you know, Ronda Rousey was entertaining. Her finish rate was so high, you know, and everybody was so caught up on that. But there was never any adversity where she was in dramatic dramatic back and forth fights. You know, she was never in a war. You know, she was never in a war like some of these other fighters that have to overcome adversity and then come back. Everything is going her way right now. And yeah, like, when you're like that on a low level, like compared to Cyborgs and the Shevchenkos, she's on the low level there. That's why you can't even say like your name. You can't even say your name or mention your name with Nunes or Chris or Shevchenko or even Joanna and so on. You know what I mean? So I think that her fights are entertaining for the level they're on, but yeah, greatness for her, that's still miles away. You know, and that's the thing, like this younger generation, how old is Kayla? Kayla like 30, right? Dang. She's only 30. Yeah, so Kayla's only 30. So for younger generation, you know, they forget like all of this groundwork that these veterans have laid down, you know. All these veterans like Chris, Amanda, the organizations they fought for, you know, they jumped from organization to organization and had to deal with, you know, bad promotion, promoters not wanting to promote them, you know, dealing with a little bit of money. See, Kayla's getting spoon-fed for 3 years, you know, making her debut in 2018. Already a millionaire, getting a million. I don't know if it comes out to be a million, but after, you know, everything comes out, but, you know, getting the millions, 11 fights in 3 years, and the 11 fights you got, there's still no big names on them. You know, that's spoon-fed compared to what Chris Cyborg and Amanda Nunes went through. You know, Chris Cyborg, her first 11 fights, I want to say, were like in the span of 5 years, and she had some decent names on there. Everybody from Carano to Marlos Conan to Vanessa Porto, fighting for Strike Force. You know, so when you bring up that name and act like you ready, you know, we can only just like laugh at that. Yeah, because what did Chris say? Okay, Chris had said this. Like Chris Cyborg said, I can make 155. Hashtag Grand Slam champion. Right? That's what she tweeted. And then, let me see. Chris Cyborg said, 16 years I've been collecting trophies. No missed words from Kayla. Oh, that was ESPN said that. But what did she say? Man, I just saw that thing earlier. Okay, yeah. So Kayla Harrison said, we know she can make 155 pounds. Congratulations. Do you want a participation trophy? You can make it, but you can't beat me. Oh, wow. Damn. So right there, like, my thoughts on that, you know, just saying that something like you want a participation trophy. You know, older generation, we don't support participation trophies. Like, I don't. You know, I don't believe in that. So, you know, Cyborg's not saying I can make the weight. She's saying that I'm ready to fight you and make the fight. But Kayla's saying that she can't beat her. And to me, there's a level of confidence everybody should have, but then come on, like, you know you're not ready for that level. Like, again, when you say she can't beat me, you're ignoring everything that Chris Cyborg's accomplished throughout the years. Like, it's time for that fight. It ain't time for that fight yet. You know? It's not time for that fight yet. And I think, you know, we talk about Clarissa Shields and Nunes' name not being mentioned together. Well, same thing can be said for Kayla and Nunes. Like, it's not time for that fight right now. You know, only 3 years in MMA, and you're ready to put her in there with Nunes. Where these fighters, they had to fight 6-7 years, almost 10 years before they got the gold. Come on. You know, even if Kayla was to go over to the UFC, it's time to start at the bottom just like everybody else. Right? Manon Fiorot, I can say she's got the potential or she could be ready, but, you know, everybody going to say, no, I'm not ready for that. She's got to fight her way at the bottom first. Like, Manon Fiorot was a champion in her other organization, but from here, she's got to start at the bottom, right? She has to fight unranked fighters as well. So, same with Kayla Harrison. She go over to the UFC or Bellator. It's not about can you beat Nunes. No, it's about can you beat Felicia Spencer, or could you beat Pam Bam, or could you beat Kat Zingano? You know, you fight with those, you take those fights on first and you win, then eventually people start putting you in the name, you putting your name in that mix, you know. So I'm just always at a loss for words there. Well, I'm not at a loss for words, but I'm not at a loss for words whenever she brings that stuff up, but I'm just kind of confused, is more so like how anybody could even entertain that now, like it's time to make that fight when it's not. Because, I mean, we go look at Kayla Harrison's resume. You still haven't faced different looks. You still haven't faced anybody that can break the intimidation factor. You know, no, you still haven't faced anybody that's going to stand their ground and fight you or give you something you never seen before. And granted, I can say Kayla Harrison is, you know, freakishly big, and you know, she does have that frame that is a gift for her, because most of the women don't have that size, you know, and they don't have that athleticism she has. She does have that going for her. I will give her that. You know, she's massive. But there's going to be somebody out there that she needs to be tested against that has a jab, going to have a damn good jab. And, you know, there's somebody out there with footwork. You know? So yeah, man. I just don't think we can ignore, like, we can keep saying Clarissa needs to stop mentioning names. Of course, yeah, she's still building up her experience, but even to a certain extent, like, yeah, Kayla's got a few, 10 more fights, then Clarissa. But at what level? Like, at what level does that make us say that's ready for Nunes, like, or Chris Cyborg? Like, cause right now, technically, yeah, Chris Cyborg would win. Like, you never faced anybody with boxing ability like Chris Cyborg. You haven't faced anybody with jab or anybody that has the same, maybe comparable strength, or wrestling like that. That's going to stand their ground. Find your way in there. Find your way up there. Like, Chris went from Strike Force, Invicta, UFC, Bellator. So I just kind of want to see her do the same thing. She's just trying to move way too fast. 3 years and 11 fights of lower level competition. Wow, come on. Nobody wants to do that groundwork anymore. It's like we're ready all the time. Yeah, right. 2B said, when does Clarissa fight again? Clarissa fights on the same night as Kayla, when Kayla fights Taylor Godardo, which is what? And, is that September or October? Let me check. She's fighting Abigail Montez on, let me pull up the date here. Hold up, where is the calendar here? Yeah, October 27th. Mark said October, or he said 27th. Is it September 27th or October? Let me pull up the month. Yes, October 27th. Yeah. Taylor Godardo and Kayla Harrison fighting on the 27th, and Clarissa's on that fight card with Abigail Montez, which I'll probably talk about in another video. That's probably like a good fight for Clarissa. I mean, that's what you need. 1-0, a 2-0, somebody green like you. Somebody that's still working their way in. Lily said, I left for a while I'm working, so I got lost. Oh. Yeah, so I just that's how I feel. Like, think that Kayla Harrison needs to take another level up, maybe to another organization. But the way she's moving and the way she needs money, the way she keeps saying about I need to get paid more, you won't see her trying to fight hard, a hard road anymore. Everybody's so much in a hurry now. I mean, I know she's adopted 2 kids, but everybody's in that rush now to just go for the the big check. So it's pretty obvious that she's probably going to be going to the UFC or Bellator next. I mean, you saw Amanda Nunes kind of watching her. They said her training partner, but Amanda Nunes was scouting out a little bit just to see how she fights and approaches the the limelight, and see what type of reaction she had under pressure. She was watching all of that. Yeah, Kayla makes a lot for somebody that doesn't fight the same competition like some of these greats that we know. So, but let's jump to this next part. I wanted to talk to y'all about, like, these PFL politics. Like, what do y'all think though, man? Like, what's going on with, like, their tournament? Like, why do we have so many pullouts? Like, why is it always seeming like somebody has to pull out of a fight and there's always a switch up? Because in a matter of hours, what is her name? Taylor Godardo had an opponent switch. You know what I mean? Larissa Pacheco. She had to pull out of a fight. Then you had Caitlin Young. She's supposed to get on and let everybody know why she couldn't fight, but Caitlin, it had nothing to do with her. But Caitlin Young lost her fight. There was a bunch of cancellations that night, So I'm like, what's going on? Like, why is everything being, like, rearranged now? Like, especially the Larissa Pacheco fight. Like, how did Larissa Pacheco miss weight this time around? You know, how did she miss weight this time around? So close to fighting Kayla Harrison, man. Don't y'all find that kind of strange? Like, how did she miss weight at the right time when she was looking her most threatening to Kayla Harrison? Like, I don't get that. Like, I was really looking forward to that. I was like, okay, Larissa Pacheco is going to fight Taylor Godardo, and if she wins, that puts her back for a third fight with Kayla. And this time, she's looking much more deadly, you know? But all of a sudden, boom, she misses weight and she's out. I just thought that was strange. It's like, Larissa Pacheco, you've been here before. You've been here over and over. Like, how did you not stay on weight this time around? Was it that tough to make weight? Or like I said, did they switch some things up here? There's some politics going on behind the scenes. Like, I don't know, man. I was kind of thinking of that. And then Kayla, you know, Caitlin Young, you know, she was out of her fight. Then, let me see here. Who was, Taylor Godardo was matched up with Marianne Moraes, who had already lost to Kayla Harrison. I was like, what's going on, man? Like, that's why I just don't understand, like, PFL there. I was talking about with somebody earlier. I don't really understand, like, their tournament style. Like, it just seems like there's a lot of politics behind how PFL moves with it. Like, it's not like the Invicta FC tournament. It's not like the Tough House tournament. It's not like, I'm actually come back and talk about this because I went back and watched that strawweight tournament Combate Global had. That was good. It wasn't even like that, you know, where the winners advance to, you know, semifinals. Then the winners of the semifinals advance to the finals, right? Like, I don't understand, like, PFL's tournament not the same way. Like, from the jump, this should have been winner versus winner, right? But it just been seeming like they've been doing a lot of switching up here to kind of change some things up. Like, y'all know what I'm getting at, right? Like, they kind of been switching some things up to where, you know, Kayla's going to be right where she need to be. I mean, that's kind of how I've been looking at that too. Like, yeah, I kind of been looking at it like that. I was like, I don't get this, man. I don't get this. It is like a fix, though. You know what I mean? Like, first you have Larissa Pacheco looking like a monster. You know, she coming through, finishing fighters, going in here against Taylor Godardo next, and then boom, she misses weight. And even going back to Jenna Fabian too, like Jenna Fabian, like, this is a big night. It's a big night for her. Like, I'm trying to look at all factors here. Like, all right, I gave you all that factor, right? That she's never been here before. But let me give y'all this side too. Like, why didn't Jenna Fabian even look like a shade as she did against Pagic or Laura Sanchez? Like, why all of a sudden tonight is Jenna, you know, Thursday night, why all of a sudden is Jenna Fabian not muscling or trying to muscle back or trying to jab or trying to kick like you did against Laura Sanchez? Like, why are you not setting up the left hook and looking for that highlight knockout like you did against Pagic? Huh? You know, so there's that side I have to look at too, you know, because I'm just looking right now what they trying to build here, and it's like a script was written, but it's like y'all tearing pages out and rewriting it as you go. And it's got me kind of thinking, like, yo, like, somebody got plot armor here. Y'all know what plot armor is, right? You know, whenever when you have a character in a movie that's safe from just about everything, you know, when you got that plot armor, that means that person's never going to die, basically. You know, and I think we all know who got the plot armor in this. We all know who got the plot armor in this game, in this tournament. So, yeah, I was looking at it like that, you know, before the tournament. I was just like, wow, Larissa Pacheco, this was your chance. You missed weight time you out here knocking people out. I'm like Jenna Fabian, you knocking people out. I mean, you knocking Pagic out. You looking like this. Like, why did we not even see a shade of that? I don't know. That was just the politics part that I wanted to talk about. Like, I'm always looking at that too, man. It was just like, wow. Cole said Kayla doesn't care about money. She wants legacy. To say she don't care about money, I don't believe that. Everybody cares about money. You got 2 kids you just adopted. You care about money. She might care about legacy. Yeah. I think she cares about legacy. I mean, but I'd be a fool not to believe that money is what's making her world go round right now. Right? And money's what's making her act the way she's acting. Right? Because, I mean, come on. Like, she's touching M's before. She's touching M's in her career before Cyborg and Nunes did. You know what I mean? Like, 3 years into her career, she's already touching M's, and they haven't touched M's when they were 3 years into their career. So she cares about the money. She cares more. I think she would care more about it, too, at this point in her life. Because, again, kids come before legacy. And if she goes to the UFC, it's going to be for money. Ain't that what she has said, too? You know, when she became a free agent, it's about, you know, them getting a bigger offer, finding better opponents, but it's still about getting a better offer. So she care about that money. Yeah, Mark, money and politics do control, man. They do control certain things, man. That's why you can't get certain boxing matches and certain fights to be made, you know. That's why judges, you know, I think there are incompetent judges, but at the same time, there are judges that are in the bag. You know, I don't know, y'all listen to my interview with Caitlin Young? Didn't y'all hear my interview with Caitlin Young where she talked about the Muay Thai scene and how greasy it can be? Go back and listen to my Caitlin Young interview, you know. Like I said, I didn't bring it up. You know, I just talking to her and we having a conversation and she brought it up. You know, so, and I like hearing about that stuff too, because I like to know what goes on this behind the scene. I mean, we've been having this crap going on with the WBA in boxing recently, where they cheated a guy out of his belt, you know. So there's always some crazy politics going on. George said Kayla should fight Caitlin Young instead of Cindy Danwan. PFL put Cindy in because Caitlin is used to fighting 145. Also, Muay Thai would have been a problem. Right, yeah, it'd have been a problem, man. Yeah, that's why they were switching it up. Like, they weren't really doing fair matchmaking, man. Yeah, everybody care about some money, man. Yeah, that's why I said you got 2 kids. 2 kids come before you. 2 kids come before legacy for sure. I don't even have kids, but yeah, I know that. That's why I said, man, like, you know, Kayla, she still want to make sure she can cash out. That's why she looking at those fights now, like Nunes and Cyborg now, after coming off of this, because she knows, you know, the money would be there. And yeah, she did sue. She did try to sue PFL. Yeah, so that's just proof there. Yeah, she care about money. Yeah, that's just proof right there. If she's suing them, that means she want to make sure she got all her money. So it is about money. If she sue PFL, it's about money. She want to make sure she getting what she owed. But let's jump to this next topic. We talk about politics a lot. I mean, we know what go on in these sports. Malecki, not Malecki. Hold on, I was looking at my title here. Ain't gonna spend too long on this one anyway. Vieira and Miesha Tate, they're scheduled to fight. What's the date? Let me see. Pull up the date here. October 16th. All right, let's see. There it is. All right, Caitlin Young, Miesha Tate are fighting October 16th Why this website put August? Sorry, y'all. Let me pull something up. There we go. Kayla, Vieira, Miesha Tate, October 16th for UFC Fight Night main event. Damn. Got them coming in at a main event. So this is Miesha Tate's second fight in her comeback. And definitely definitely going to be a step up in competition now, you know. So let's see what her ranking is right now. But yeah, like I was telling Two Beasts earlier, I think it's going to be a much more competitive fight than the Marion Renault fight here. You know, Caitlin Vieira, sorry. You know, she is a ground threat, but I think that Miesha Tate has the experience under her belt and a little bit more well-roundedness to her advantage. That's going to give her some trouble. Caitlin Vieira, that is. So yeah, Miesha Tate is number 8. Caitlin is number 7. And as y'all know, y'all heard about Yana Kunitskaya. Yana Kunitskaya is expecting. So yeah, that fight would definitely be out. And Miesha Tate says something about wanting to fight Aspen Ladd. But, you know, Aspen Ladd is tied up with Macy Chiasson. So yeah, Caitlin Vieira is logical, right? So yeah, main event. I don't think this is a good main event, man. It's not main event worthy. Or, you know, her second fight coming back, and then you're talking about 2 fighters down the rank. And I'll say this because it's not main event worthy. Let's say when you got a fighter like Jessica Andrade, who's just coming off of a pay-per-view card with Valentina Shevchenko, then y'all throw her on the prelims. You know what I mean? Yeah, they do some backwards stuff here. Like, Jessica Andrade, to me, is still a main card fighter. Like, ain't she on the prelims now after just fighting against Shevchenko at that high level? To me, that's disrespectful. You know, and I honestly, look, Lauren Murphy and Valentina Shevchenko, you can disagree. To me, Shevchenko Murphy could be a main event. I'm just saying, like, UFC 266, that could have been its own main event. I mean, I do want to see that Volkanovski fight and Ortega fight, but if they want to put them on their own card, I think Shevchenko and Murphy could be a main event. If not on a pay-per-view card, maybe a UFC Fight Night card. I'd rather see that as a headline than Tate versus Vieira. Because, come on, that's the number 7 and 8. Fighter on a comeback and a fighter on, well, Vieira's not on a big losing streak, right? But coming off a loss to Yana Kunitskaya. So, to me, that's not really main event worthy. I couldn't keep a straight face. I couldn't keep a straight face talking about it. Sorry. Oh, man. Yeah, all right, so that's your main event. Caitlin Vieira, who's coming off a loss at number 7 to Yana Kunitskaya. Miesha Tate coming back after a 5-year layoff in a stoppage win over Marion Renault, who's making her exit. That don't sound like a very, tantalizing main event to me. Marina Rodriguez and Michelle Waterson was a better main event than that, when it came down to it. And even then, I really wouldn't have went out of the way to put Marina and Michelle as a main event. I'm just saying, like, that made more sense than this fight to me. And I'm kind of basing that off of the performance they put on that night, too, now, more so. Who else? Michelle Waterson and Angela Hill, that was one WMMA main event. But like I said, I just don't think this is main event worthy. I don't think Miesha Tate carries that type of star power, I know they're trying to push her. But this ain't really the fight to make a main event to me. They could have done better here. They could have done much better. Because I still need to see if Miesha Tate is ready to get back in there for real, and fight the elites in the bantamweight. I know we talk about the bantamweight division being a little bit dry, but you still got fighters like GDR that could stop that track. You know what I mean? But looking at the fight, as a ground fighter here, big, strong ground fighter in Ketlen Vieira, she can be a bit slow. And I think that Miesha Tate does have the advantage here when it comes down to, her wrestling. I think her wrestling is going to be effective in this fight. And, her striking whip. I think her movement's been showing some improvement. Looks a little bit better than, the Miesha Tate 5 years ago. I think she will be able to go in and out here and outspeed Ketlen Vieira. But like I said, when you stand in front of Ketlen, that's where she's most dangerous. And she can't stand in front of Ketlen Vieira. You can't stand in front of her. She's either going to switch level on you or she'll land something big. What's the size difference here? I know Ketlen Vieira is, 5'8". What's Miesha Tate, like 5'6"? I'm just guessing. Hold on. Yeah, she's 5'6". I just pulled it up. There it is. All right. It's not like too much of a height advantage here, but Ketlen Vieira is a big bantamweight. But she looked lackluster in her last fight with Yana Kunitskaya. And was Yana Kunitskaya, was she pregnant when she was in that fight? Was she pregnant in that fight? I know that's something that I've been looking at about Yana Kunitskaya, right? Because, that bump, little baby bump is coming along. But anyway, she definitely didn't look her best in that fight. She didn't really she had much to offer even on the ground. So I think somebody like Miesha Tate, who's got a little bit more riding on this here, she's out for some money here. I think she's going to come in here and, showcase her striking and showcase her experience and her IQ here. Yeah, I don't I don't think it should be a main event though. I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch the fight. I want to see what she can do. Fan of the sport, but I know what shouldn't be a main event and what should. Yeah, I would put Shevchenko, Lauren Murphy a main event before I would do this as a main event for sure. Like I said, even if it wasn't pay-per-view, I would put Shevchenko Murphy as like a main event on UFC Fight Night card. For sure. Yeah. But I would love to see. Hold on. Mark Robinson said UFC needs pay-per-view and main event WMMA stars. Hence Tate push. How many are there really in the UFC top level? Yeah, Joanna, I really wouldn't even put her in there no more. With her being out almost 2 years now. Yeah, Rose is still there. Shevchenko is still there, and Nunes. Yeah, Andrade could be. It's like I would put Wei Lee there. Yeah, you forgot Wei Lee. She's one. Wei Lee brings in a whole country herself, so Wei Lee brings in some power. She's a pay-per-view. That's why they're leaning towards Rose Wei Lee more so than Carla Esparza. But Andrade needs to be on the main card on UFC 266. Like, they dropped her the prelims. I was like, come on, man, that's disrespectful. Shoot, they had Cheyenne Bays and what's her name, Gloria DePaula as a co-main event coming off of losses. So sometimes they just don't put these they don't put the order of the fights on the fight card right either. You know what I mean? Because it makes a difference. It makes a difference because, if you look at the prelims, you look at the early prelims and the prelims in the main card, you got to look at the audience that's there. Like, early prelims, you got a few people there. Prelims, your crowd is getting there. Maybe 60% of the people are there, depending on who the main event is going to be there. But then by the main card, you have a good crop of people there. Then by like the second or third fight, co-main event, everybody's stuffed in. Usually everybody be stuffed in by the main event, by the main card. So you really can't put somebody that nobody really knows on a main card and then put the put somebody, like I said, like a Jessica Andrade on a preliminary card and have her missed. Well, you know what I mean? Like, it just comes down to structuring it right too, man. We talk about matchmaking, but fight placement on a card is important too, man. Yeah, Andrade ain't prelims fighter, man. She's still a main card fighter. You know, she needs to be on a main card to bring in more fans and bring her fans out and keep her star attraction where it is, because she's still an exciting fighter. If she lost to Shevchenko, she's still an exciting fighter. You know, I'd still like to see her on that main card. You know, so it's something that UFC, they need to work on there too, man. Talk about the matchmaking. I wonder if UFC ever do something like Combate, and I wonder if UFC or Bellator would ever go as far as to do like, you know, Combate Global did, and just do a all women's card. You know, even if it was like a UFC Fight Night card or something like that, that would be interesting. Or do one where it's almost like 50-50. I don't know. We'll talk about that in the video. Might do a matchmaking thing there, because I think that would be neat. Like if they did maybe like a 50-50 card. Granted, nobody tests positive, you know, because it's hard to get 4 on a card now. It's hard to get at least 3 to 4 WMMA fights on a card, for real. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, they're padding it. They are padding it right now. You know, they're giving her the number 7. Because really, Ketlin Vieira is more of a threat than Mari Renault, but how much more is she going to be of a threat, right? Like, she's not going to be high level like like GDR, of course, or Irene Aldana, but she's some threat level there. But it's the lesser of the top 10 that she's getting next, to just kind of put some padding on there, you know. Robot Chicken said, did you hear about Canyoneer talking about fighter pay? He said he's broke. That's crazy, coming off of winning the main event. Don't have a pot to piss. Yeah, I heard about that, because I saw somebody put the meme up of Canyoneer and it said broke, and they put Kayla Harrison millionaire. So I was like, yeah, it's getting around. Yeah, like, so yeah, you can't knock Kayla Harrison's hustle. Like, Kayla, if she was in UFC position right now, I think she would be a vocal person about this. That's why it is about money. Like, Kayla would be mad as hell. She would be vocal about this, though. Like, if she was getting that type of pay, she would be fussing Dana White out. That's why Dana White got to make sure the money's right when she comes over. You know, because she's already got a taste of what the PFL does for her, and he's not gonna get it. You know, if he's not gonna get it like that, and you know, they'll be at odds for real. You know. Yeah. So yeah, Kenya. Yeah, I feel bad, man. Like, dang, man, how you broke and you the main event? Cheyenne Bay said she was broke. You know, everybody remembers Alpar, Sarah Alpar, her situation. Misha Tate recently was talking about what the money she blew, like $200,000, and you know, to get right for the fight. I mean, she said she bought some extra things here and there, but I'm like, yo, like, how these fighters, like, I mean, I know how they're broke because I've seen it before. Like, same thing in boxing, you know, but I'm talking about like the organization wise. Like, how are they not feeding their fighters right when it comes down to their pockets? But that's another thing though, man. I think some fighters are so caught up in being a fighter and just saying, I love the fight, so they don't think out the box. So it's fine when Dana White just throws them peanuts compared to what boxers get. You know what I mean? Al Heyman, you know, he makes sure in boxing his fighters are financially taken care of, financially secure. Errol Spence, you know, Tank Davis, you know, the money that they get is setting them up for longevity. You know, it's setting them up for retirement. You know, Al Heyman is hooking his fighters up like that. But when you have somebody like Dana White who is not seeing the struggle and not wanting to see you retire with money, you know, that's kind of a bad place to be. Let's be honest. You know, it's kind of a bad place to be for some of these fighters. Man, broke as hell. That's something you don't really want to hear some of these fighters say, man, especially when they put on entertaining fights for us. Or you don't want to have to see them resorting to selling off or auctioning off their uniforms, man. Fighters go through a lot. But going back to what I was saying too, the fighters, it's on them to think out of the box too, man, business wise, man. Like, they can't just say, oh, I'm in love with fighting. I'm in love with fighting. Like, I'll fight anybody. No, it comes down to saying, like, for the price is right, I'll fight this person. You know? You ain't got to be a diva about it, but, you know, you got to say, look, you got to know your worth. You got to know your worth when it comes down to it. That's why I hope some fighters are listening right now, because they need to know that. You know, fighters don't you know, if a fighter comes on here now and says, oh, you won't do it, you won't train, shoot, I got the money. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I ain't in that position. I'm not in that position. I'm telling y'all what you need to do. I'm telling you what you need to do, though. You know, you can't just say it's about the fight. You got to say, what am I going to do after the fight game? Like, what kind of brand do I have? Like, do I have a brand that could last out of the fight game? Julian Ramirez said, do you think she can defend Misha's takedown? I think so. I think that Kayla Vieira can for a certain amount. I think she can. I think she can defend a few of the takedowns. It depends on how she sets it up too. Like, if Misha comes in with the striking, using the striking, I think the striking can kind of throw off her takedowns, and I can see her taking Ketlin down here and there. But you know, Ketlin does have that size. Like, I can see her stuffing some takedowns though. Yeah, Julian. Yeah. Bullet said, crazy for any fighter to be broke with all of the SBA PPP money that fighters were available to get. That's a good point too. That's why I said kind of go back to, like, even with Misha, like, what are they doing with the money? You know, what are they doing with the money? Like, I'm going to pull up this article here what Misha Tate was saying about her money. And for me, somebody that's very, I won't say I'm stingy, but very tight with money, I could make, I believe that the UFC does, the fighters deserve more, but me, I don't think I would, like I said, I'm not in that position, but I don't think my money would not go that fast. I would make that work. I could make it work, but you shouldn't have to. I think they should get their worth though. Like, I'm not the type of person to just blow it out like that, so. I mean, everybody wants to celebrate and do things like that, but and yeah, that's something that boxers used to do in the past too. Yeah, like fighters doing that now. You buy a $30,000 watch, that's where it goes. Yeah, like, see, like, that for me is just crazy. Like, that's why I say, like, for me, I could make that work, because if you give me 50,000, 75 plus $50,000 bonus, that money's gonna stay with me for at least, that money's gonna stay with me. Let me just put it that way. That money's gonna be here. Like, 30,000 would never go down to a watch. I don't even buy it. I won't even buy a watch for $100. You know what I mean? Like, I won't even buy $100 watch. So if I got to check $75,000, I'm not buying a $30,000 watch. But yeah, you have to look at some of these fighters' spending habits too. Like, I believe they deserve more, but you gotta really analyze and put under a microscope what they spending. Yeah, yeah, Marcus, I wouldn't, man. Not even that. Like, I haven't bought a piece of gum in a gumball machine for forever. I might lose it in the machine. Mark said there's now 2 lawsuits against UFC. Maybe things might change with fighter pay. It needs to change. Yeah, that's a good point, Roger. Like, I'm glad you brought that up because even like when we were doing filming, like I work in the film industry, you know, on and off. And when you do indie things, you can write off a lot, Roger. Like so for the same thing I go for a fighter, for what I was doing, you can write off food as long as you keep the receipts. You can write off clothes. You can write off every little thing you buy on the clock, basically. You can write off a lot of stuff even in that industry. So yeah, I'm sure fighters, like, they need to know, like, there's a lot of stuff they can write off. Everything that they need for their nutrition, their fight, training clothes. Yeah, that's a good point. Because if it's for your business and it's for your work, you write it off. Yeah, mileage too. Yeah. When I would drive to like some of these production places, you write that gas mileage off. Mm-hmm. So yeah, same thing that should apply to them. You got to go to the store, you go to the gym. That's mileage. I like I said, I drive to a production studio. That's mileage. Yeah, look at this right here, y'all. Like, if y'all got some fighters watching, like, everything he naming that right here, that's stuff you can write off. Y'all see that, right? Upcoming fighter, you read that. Those are your expenses. Food, clothes, mileage to the store, the gym. Right off that mileage, gas money, meetings, a massage, part of your recovery. That all makes sense. That's all, like, should be a given. Because if you think of yourself as like even like a contractor, like an indie worker, independent filmmaker, whatever, a freelance, everything that you put into your body to fight, to make it work, is a write-off. Yeah, good points. So very, very good points. We might have to come on one night and we talk about that, Roger. And whenever, when I get a chance to sit down and do an open link, come in and talk about that. Because I might do a show talking about fighter pay, but we also got to examine what fighters are doing with the money. Like, how responsible are you with the money? So, anytime, man, you got a time to do it, come on, we can talk about that. Mark Robertson said, when I think about Vieira versus Aldana, it makes me think that Vieira may be able to touch Misha on the feet. Vieira got knocked out, but she was throwing heat. Yeah, she could touch. She touched Sarge, you know what I mean? Like, if you standing in front of her, she'll lob big shots. She'll lob big shots on you, for sure. Vieira will put hands on you. And Misha's not great at defense, so yeah, factor that in. You stand in front of her overhand right, that loopy right she throws, she'll hit you, yeah. Oh, Roxy's dating somebody. Oh, Roxy's got Marcus. Roxy, I thought Roxy and Marcus I don't know, I'm just saying. Shoot, hold on. YouTubers write off stuff if they're working hard enough. Yes, that's right. Yeah, YouTubers can write off stuff. Yeah. Especially when they get to that certain level, you can start writing it off as equipment for the job when you're a full-time YouTuber. Shoot, so help me out. I want to get there for YouTube. Help me out. I want to get to that point on YouTube where I can do that. No, it's not Jed Clampett. It's Marcus. Marcus Bell, I think. I think that's the name. Roger said, I saw a fan commenting on Val wearing an IWC pilot watch. She wears a Citizen. See, I wear a Casio, man. How much is a Casio? Like $20? I wear the same watch I've worn. I wear the same style of watch I wore in high school. As long as it's got a little light on it, I can click it on in the dark, I'm fine. Yeah, it's dumb to spend $10,000 on a watch, man. Even if you can. Yeah, like, just because you got it don't mean you should. Just because you have it doesn't mean you should do it. And that's why people think that, oh, when I have this money, I can jump over this fence into this land I never been in before. But it's not like that. That stuff will go fast. I mean, when I look back at Mike Tyson and like what he was worth, I was like, wow. I remember Larry Holmes. I was looking at a Larry Holmes interview, and Larry Holmes was saying like after he paid all these expenses, and this wasn't his fault. It was after he paid all his expenses, like from Don King's money. He barely had enough to. He didn't even have enough to get a bus ticket home or a plane ticket home. Yeah, so like just because you get the 10,000, it's like, man, you won't put no $10,000 into no watch. Excuse me. Yeah, fighters can make LLC a max out retirement pre-tax and so IRA and 401k. See, that's some good information that they need to know. I'm glad the chat is posted here on the side so fighters can see this. Shout out to Roger for posting some of this stuff, man. This is good information. I'm glad the chat is replayable because fighters, if you're listening, let's share this video to some fighters. Fighters, if you want to know how to save your money, even in situations when you feel like you're not getting what you deserve, you can still make certain things work. I mean, compared to what some of these fighters were getting way back, certain things can work. Like, don't let me hear you. Don't let me hear that you were spending your money on like Roger said, a $30,000 watch, a $40,000 watch. If your spending habit is like 10 grand a month, and that's not like bills, then should we feel sorry for you? If that's the issue, like, what is your money really going into? Like, there's always two sides to it. I mean, one side could be worse than the other, but you got to look at it that way. Yeah. But yeah, man, I think we had definitely good conversation here tonight. I'll be back on tomorrow because it is fight week for Invicta. We're gonna talk Invicta tomorrow. So I'm about to go grab me some food here. Savage. Mark Robinson said this is a long shot, of course, but can you imagine if Misha becomes champ and calls out Ronda? If that ever happened, I think Ronda would actually come out of retirement to fight her again. I don't know if she would come out of retirement again. I don't know if she would come out of retirement for that fight. Just become a two-time champion, and then everybody would be on her, man. Shoot, Valentina might move to 135 and take that from Ronda. Right? Robot Chicken said, don't buy $1 million car before you buy a house. E40. Hey, E40 got some money. Like, I got to give E40 Charlie Hustle. Charlie Hustle, he's like the king of one of those, indie rappers that did his indie thing, out on the Bayside, right? Yeah, E40, he's been in a long time. He's got hands in a little bit of everything, which is where I want to do that, man. Dang, I want to put my hands in a little bit of everything. Lolita said Ronda would come out because that fight would be a big draw. Misha versus Ronda. You think she would? It would be embarrassing too if she did, and then Misha lost it, and Misha still couldn't get revenge. I mean, if I was Misha, I wouldn't take that fight, because if you lose again, that your credibility would go all out. Because it's like you lost to her again, a woman who's been away from the sport a little longer than you. Bringing in some more trivia. Savage said E40 was the first rapper to start his own label. Wow, I didn't know that. Much as I, used to listen to him before, I knew he had his own label, but I didn't know he was like the first. Dang, yeah, I did not know he was one of the first. Like everybody always think of Master P and like Baby and Slim from Cash Money that had their own label, like they were the first. But I guess E40 out on the West Side started it. Yeah, I think that too, Mark. Like Ronda would be in Expendables 4 before she would get back in the octagon for Misha Tate. Like I think there's just too many. I won't say bad memories, but just too much going on where I don't think she would want to get back into training for that fight. For that one fight, she can go do Expendables 4 before she do that. Yeah, get a family, get a baby. She got a farm. Hit the set of Expendables 4. Do a couple of shoots, action shoots. Don't have to worry about getting hurt. Her mind is there. I would do that. Shoot, if I was her position, I would do that. Forget fighting. I don't care if this easy person I beat twice has the belt again. I don't want to waste my time going through training camp, and the press would be with hell for it too. Like she'd be in interviews after interviews, people trying to ask her the craziest questions. Press conference would be nuts. If she came back, she don't want to deal with that no more. Not at all. Robot Chicken said why she's done with fighting. Yeah. Why she's done? Yeah. Are you asking why? Or you mean that's why she's done? Yeah. That's why she's done with fighting. Yeah. Because of all that mental stress. At least WWE is scripted, and at least movies, that's controlled environment. No more training and no more putting your body through hell. Holly and Misha might as well fight again. That's unfinished business. I'd rather just see them fight again. Holly and Misha. I mean, they're still in the game, Dark Shadow said Lauren Murphy beats Dark Shadow said Lauren Murphy beats Valentina Shevchenko. All right. Yeah, I figure you did, Robot Chicken. Give me some keys on how you think she wins Dark Shadow, because mostly everybody leans toward Valentina Shevchenko. What you think, man? Yeah, who brought that? Was that you, Mark? You brought that up earlier to 1FC. I saw it. I meant to say something. I let it pass by. Yeah, that was you, right? You brought up 1FC. You and somebody else did, or just you? 1FC Atom Weight Grand Prix soon. Are you gonna do a video? Yeah, I'm gonna do a video. I'll do a video. Cause I actually saved the thumbnail off of the Facebook page, and I was looking at the tournament. Stan Fairtex back, B Nguyen. What's her name is back in there too, right? The ain't the wrestler back in there? The what's her name? The Indian girl that's a wrestler. Who did she lose to? Her name is escaping my mind right now. What is her name? She's back. Oh, Fogat. Ritu Fogat. I got it. Ritu Fogat is back in there too, I heard. I think she got to work on her striking though. Yeah, Ritu Fogat's back in there. Yeah. I'll do a video. I'm gonna do this video on this Invicta tomorrow. We're gonna be on a live stream talking about Invicta. TJ. Colton said, I want to see Holly head kick Amanda. Yeah, it didn't happen that way last time. Actually happened the opposite. All right, Dark Shadow said, Joanna got 5 title defenses. Andrade was the last one. Yep. Shevchenko's 5th and last defense was also against Andrade. Oh, he doing that type of math. He said it stops at Andrade. Oh man, come on. Come on, Dark Shadow. Give me some keys to victory. Convince me, man. Like, tell me how. I ain't did my prediction yet, but you know I'm leaning towards. But tell me something, Dark Shadow. Like, how's Lauren Murphy gonna do it? You say by submission, but how are we gonna get to submission? Come on, tell me something. I mean, I'm just, I ain't being funny. I want to know. Like, you seem strong. You think strongly of what Lauren Murphy can do. I mean, anything can happen. I have to know because, Shevchenko is a tough code to crack. Yeah. Roger said, hopefully Rose and Whaley rematch will be announced soon. Whaley had to renegotiate her deal for this fight since this is a big fight. Delays, not Rose. Oh, man. So it is happening. Oh, man. So she did have to renegotiate her deal for this fight. Since it's a big fight. Like I said, I knew it was gonna happen. Like, I want Carla to get this fight, Roger, but I know, I definitely know when money come into play, this gonna be the one. I know, but I was just hoping that they would do the right thing here and just give Carla the fight. I mean, am I gonna watch this fight? Yeah, I'm gonna definitely watch it because I want to see if Whaley can come back in there. Well, not back. I want to see her come in there and show something she didn't do last time. So, yeah. I figured that would be. I knew that was the case. I just wanted what was right before money for a change, man. That's all. Yeah, money does it, man. Money does it all the time. Money always does it. I think this might be a chance for TJ to make that money back that he lost too. What do you think, Roger? That might be Roger. That might be a way to TJ make his money back. You don't know. Maybe TJ can put out whatever he lost last time and double it, and maybe he'll win it back. TJ, you feeling a little froggish this time, man? You want to put another bet on this one? When Whaley gets her rematch with Rose. Mark said UFC don't care about who does it. Yeah, I know. It's all about money. I know. Okay, Mark Robinson, Dark Shadow didn't answer, but Mark Robinson gave me his. He said, I think Shevchenko too fast for Murphy. Murphy's big, strong, and tough, but also very slow. She gets hit a lot. All facts. All facts. All facts there. Okay. He just said he all in with crypto. Okay. I'm looking into that Dogecoin, man. I am looking into that. I'm trying to get in on the ground floor or something to make that grow. Robot Chicken said it was Ice Cube. Yeah, Ice Cube get like a distribution deal with Priority or something like that. He owned Lynch Mob Records and he did like a distribution deal with Priority Records or something like that. Something like Master P did with No Limit. Robot Chicken, I think. Roger said disposable income in China is at all-time high for rising middle and upper class. Oh, yeah. It's time to get that. Yeah. That's a lot. Yeah. I know, man. Yeah, with Whaley carrying such a big country, I already knew, like, we know what's going to happen, man. We know what's going to happen. Like, I want to see this fight, but, oh, man, the money is just so good right now. UFC is going to be like, oh, man, we got to get this money. With money out like that, yeah. But with that being said, would they do the rematch in China? I don't think so, right? Since Rose won, they wouldn't do it over there, would they? Colton said, don't you think Lauren Murphy will be beat from pillar to post and too tough for her own good and just really take a beating? I'm worried about her. Oh, well, I'm not gonna tell you what I think, Colton. Yeah, I was asking Dark Shadow. So if you're talking to Dark Shadow, like he was, he came out and just said Lauren was gonna win. So let's ask him if he's worried. No, TJ, he's going to give us keys to victory for Roxanne over Taylor Santos. We going to get keys to victory. We're going to get a play-by-play of Roxanne versus Taylor Santos. Of course, Taylor Santos, I'm going with Taylor in that fight, but Marcus is going with Roxy. All right, Roger said no. I bet it happens in the States. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm for sure, yeah. It would just seem only right. I mean, since she won the belt, since it's her belt. So, yeah. Happened in the States. I'm just ready for the return, honestly. Yeah, I'm just ready to see it at this point. Like, let's do it. I will be feeling the butterflies like I do with certain fights and rematches. Just like I did with the Spence Porter. That was a good fight. What else? The first Whaley Rose fight, the Joanna Whaley fight, the Andrade and Rose fight. Them tense butterfly fights. I feel I'm gonna be feeling that night because there's gonna be a lot riding on this one too. So yeah, I'm gonna watch it definitely. Roxanne's head. Oh, Marcus said he ain't. Oh man, crazy. So yeah, we're gonna get back on here tomorrow. We'll talk about this this Invicta FC 44 card. It's a $20 pay-per-view. Let me know how y'all feel about that tomorrow. We'll talk about it. I mean, not now. We ain't gonna talk about it now, so don't worry about answering now. Just tune in tomorrow about 7 o'clock. And we'll talk about Invicta FC. It's on pay-per-view. $20 pay-per-view, like I said. And I'll go down the fighters in the on the card. We got y'all's girl, Mara Barella, coming back Friday in this Invicta FC card. So, yeah, man. Good conversation, y'all. I'm about to get up out of here tonight, though. Yeah, definitely good points made tonight, too. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody coming through. Just good stuff on, some financial info Roger dropping there about these fighters. I mean, for real, like, I think, my final thoughts, so I will say, I think that some of these fighters do deserve more. But yeah, I think it's all in how you kind of manage your money too. Like especially when you hear somebody wasting the money. Yeah. You got to be careful with that. That stuff goes fast, man. Yeah, TJ, it's a good price. It's a good price, man. But yeah, Kayla versus Cyborg, I just said Kayla, that's something that might not even happen, man. So, yeah. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all tomorrow, 7 p.m. Invicta FC 44. We'll talk. Combo Breaker 99. Make sure y'all subscribe. I'm out. Peace.